So speaking of current players and the way the rounds are going at the moment, we're obviously getting to the business end of the NRL season. You blokes obviously won a comp, and now you're pretty well positioned to be able to talk about these last rounds and what they mean to, I guess, the finals and the way it's going through. I mean, if a team's going like a busted now, but they're at the top of the comp, are they finished? If a team's coming home strong, does that mean they're a chance of going further than you expect? I mean, what do you think?
I think if you're coming home strong at this part of the season, this is where you're a real threat. Like Parramatta, for example, they've won like 6 in a row. They've had 2 byes, haven't been beaten in about 9 weeks. So they're a real dark horse. But I know we're going to touch on Melbourne. Melbourne are the team that are just so clinical, and they're just like they're playing for something else, you know, with Cooper obviously potentially retiring and, you know, Kevin Smith coming to the end of their career. Will they have another opportunity to be in this position? It's just like they're going to a whole another level. So they're a scary fucking team at the moment.
Going back a little bit from what you said, how important do you think the run is now? Like when we won the premiership in 2004, the run into the semi-finals, just say from round 23, I'm not sure if you remember. Yeah. I don't really remember either. There's some good times there. But we didn't get beat in the last 4 rounds, and we were putting some points on some teams.
I think we put like...
And then we end up rolling in and getting done by North Queensland, remember? That sort of just checked us straight back into gear. And it's like, okay, well, we're not the world beaters who we think we are. Maybe is a loss important coming up, or do you need that? Do you need to win 10 in a row and just keep going? Because I think a loss somewhere along the line really checks you.
Yeah.
You know, like what we did in 2004, and sometimes you just go, oh, we're killing it. And you come up against a team, just say you might come up against the Raiders in the next 3 weeks. They're on fire at the moment. They're coming home strong. Boom. You play against Canberra. Melbourne's got to play against Canberra, and they might dust you up. Then it really gives you a big reality check.
If you're finding ways to win, and then you're not really the better team on the day, but you're finding ways to win, that's when a loss might be good for a side, because then you can reevaluate where you are. But if you're playing really well and full of confidence, you don't want any doubt in your brain. You don't care. You don't respect any opposition. So you don't really want a loss. You want to just keep rolling with it, build confidence, build combinations, because you might get an injury. You know, Bevan Frenchie's out for Parramatta, which is a huge loss. So they've still got 4 rounds. But I think, for me, Parramatta's like one of the only teams that could probably challenge Melbourne at the Mall. They're a bit more unconventional. They're not expected to win. They're tough. They're playing for each other. They're a niggly, sort of annoying team at the moment. You know, Brad Arthur's got the best out of his players, but
I think you touched on it before, like with Melbourne. It looks like they're going to a new level. And I'm just trying to figure out why, until you just said, like, you know, Cooper's gone.
Yeah.
You don't know if Bill's going to play on. Cameron's probably only got, you know, 2 more. Cameron could play for the next 10 years. But I mean, like, you don't know. So they want to leave a legacy there that is just undeniable.
I reckon as well this year, it's probably the first year through the origin period that Melbourne haven't. I mean, they normally traditionally lose. They get hammered because they've got no players, you know. But this year, it looks like the players they've got around them seem to be holding up that.
Yeah, well, I think it's perfect when you got, you know, about 5 or 6 Kiwi internationals in your team.
That doesn't hurt.
It does help. Yeah. It does help, and I mean, like, I think that helped us for Origin when we were playing. We had Roy, Sonny Bill, Matt Utai, all these sort of blokes, you know, just sort of holding the helm there, and it does help. And you know, you got that, you know, a Safa Solomona, who's just a beast. I think he's going to be an animal.
Who's
Jordan McLean,
the halfback coming through.
Riley Jack.
Yeah, I mean, like
Andrew Johns,
just Joey, just the depth they've got. Like, I went to the Melbourne Roosters game down in Adelaide, and I thought it was Cooper Cronk actually playing, but it was that Riley Jack. So they've got so much depth. They've got the youth. You know, that Munster.
He's a freak.
He's just a freak. Yeah. He's strong through the hips. He's awkward.
Great hips.
Magnificent looking hips.
Some great quads. Great quads. I've been stalking your Munster.
So they're going to be completely hard to beat, but they want to get you into that structured game of grind footy. Yeah. But like, that's what I said.
I don't think they play that anymore. They've got that a little bit of structure. But I think people got onto it.
They know when to go out of it.
They got onto it, and now they know where. Okay, we've got these big young kids that just want to play football. Belly's going, get on there and destroy these other guys. You know, so you're getting these new breeds coming on. They've got offloads coming out their arse. They're just flicking it everywhere, and they're playing off the back of that. But before, I think when they got, you know, cost themselves in the grand final and stuff like that, was when they were too structured and people were buying onto it. It was just like the Bulldogs when they just went from, you know, like this team in 2012, tip, pass out the back. They're stuck in 2012.
Still doing the same.
People are bought onto it and it's going bang, that's closed. But Bellamy and the players that they got down there can just evolve and just go to that next level. So that's what's dangerous about them. I'm watching them play, and they're aggressive as hell. They're beating the shit out of some forward packs, which usually you can try and get over the top of the Melbourne forward pack because they were just, just workers. Now they've got some dudes that'll put you on your back.
So you've heard it here first. Melbourne can't lose.
Well, I didn't say they can't
I think
lose.
it's theirs to lose.
So who beats them?
It's theirs to lose.
Sharks.
Brisbane on their day and Sharks on their day, and a full strength Roosters.
Well, you two have had more clubs than a golf.
I think I played for all them.
I think you played for every club there.
King's Cross.
Sapphire Special.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I think realistically, if you look at Melbourne, I'm prepared to declare them. I can't see anyone. I can't see anyone beating them.
Injuries, and something like a ridiculous play like Fafita last year. They had that game. I mean, they should have won that game. They'd be still stern about losing that game. So that's going to drive them. The loss of Cooper Cronk and all that kind of stuff is going to drive them. So that's what I'm saying. Like when Ren said, they're gone next level.
But you look at Origin as well, going back to Origin, how Melbourne have skated through that Origin period, all right. But then you look at Cronulla. Maloney's been busted since Origin. Fafita hasn't done much since Origin.
Bird's injured. Bird's injured now.
I feel like Cronulla really, the Origin period really took a toll on Cronulla.
It's luck. It's luck.
And that's, I mean, that's not their fault. It's just that it's a torrid series.
It can either make you or break your Origin series. I mean, because if you've got a team like Melbourne or Brisbane, they're always going to have 5 or 6 players, obviously key players in Origin that are going to be playing football the whole time. Like Cameron Smith plays 80 minutes, Cooper Cronk plays 80 minutes, Billy Slater 80 minutes. All their forwards are playing 50 to 60 minutes, and it takes it out of you. It's like 3 grand finals in the middle of the year, and to come through that unscathed and to have to have the boys win games through it, it's just a bonus. I mean, I was lucky and blessed enough to be playing in a good club, a great club at the Bulldogs, where we could come back after Origin and still be in the top 4. So it's very important. I mean, like Brisbane, they've lost McCulloch, they've lost a few players, but they're relatively unscathed.
Are Brisbane a chance?
Massive chance. I mean, the loss of McCulloch is massive, because he's an integral part of that team for the last 10 years. And he's got a calm head on him like a Cameron Smith. But I just think Ben Hunt, the transformation from him, leaving the club as well and then going into 9, and he sort of changed the game last week. He was involved in like 4 or 5 tries.
He's only on for 45 minutes and he killed it. So I reckon now if you look at the top sides, you're saying outside of Melbourne, you're saying Cronulla, you're saying Brisbane, Roosters.
Roosters, yeah, and I think my smoky obviously is Canberra if they get into the 8. Ooh. Parramatta and
Penrith?
And a Penrith, yeah.
Penrith coming on.
Mate, Regan Campbell-Gillard, I reckon he'll get picked in the Aussie side. I reckon he's the next best.
You like hyphen names?
RGH? No, is that right? Regan Campbell-Gillard.
It is.
Whatever.
My smokies, Manly.
Melbourne's not a smoky.
Manly?
Man, they're my smoky team.
To win the comp.
Manly?
Well, I think they can win their last 4 games. They've got a fairly decent run home. I reckon they can jag those 4 wins, go into the finals with plenty of confidence. Who wants to play against the Cherry Evans that's playing well, They've got some good players. They went through a period where they were winning a lot of games, lost those 2, Barrett was under pressure, and then they come out and smack
put some points on the Roosters.
Would you say the turning point for Manly as a club was not re-signing Willie Mason?
Oh, absolutely. They just went
from
strength to strength.
The club has just really
every
gone
club
wrong.
he's left has gone from strength to strength.
It really has,
apart from the Bulldogs when they got the wooden spoon.
Whatever, mate. We're injured.
So, personally,
How many wooden spoons you had?
1.
Bullshit.
What, 1?
Roosters, Cowboys.
2.
2.
2.
2 more than me.
2 more than me as well.